kind of some goal setting for the year. So some of the stuff that you kind of written out previously at the beginning of the year, I'm just gonna go through it, and then if I miss anything, just make sure I got it. So goal was to make sure that you're qualifying for provincials, both indoor and outdoor.
Yep.
Yeah. So getting up to top 20 in the province. Cool. And then those are sort of your two outcome goals, big thing. And then one of the other big goals you had was just being able to endure, essentially, right? Because in the last year, couple years, you've spent a lot of time off because of injuries and stuff. So you were just trying to get stronger, feel more solid in the game, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Those are right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Started, you had knee braces, you had, was it elbow or shoulder? It was shoulder, hips. You had a lot of injuries. How are those going now?
Basically all fixed.
All fixed, and that was just doing a lot of specific strength and conditioning work.
Yeah.
Cool. Care to share any of the strength and conditioning stuff that you were working on?
Just, I guess knees were the big one. That was strengthening quads and stuff.
Cool.
And a lot of band stuff for the shoulders.
Good. So like with knees, just like lots of lifting and squats and jumping and all these things just to help strengthen and stabilize the muscles in there and the joints. Cool. Because you're going through a stage in your life now where you're growing like crazy. So that's good. And then with the shoulder, just lots of rotating or
Yeah, just lots of
pulling and.
Yeah, that one's pretty under control.
Cool. And you've been keeping that up and feeling good?
Yep, it's feeling.
Cool. It's gonna need to happen for you to kind of go from that first step of, okay, now you're in the realm competing, to starting to get up to the point where you feel like, okay, I can win those tight matches, I can win those ones, and you can get to your circles of going like, oh, I'm starting to make provincials and be a top 20 player consistently.
I guess like kind of a combination of like training the shots and then putting them in like experience with like playing the matches again.
Okay, cool. And if you were looking at your shots, what would you say that the shot that needs sort of like the most work to feel like you can stay in there? And
Probably the back end.
Cool.
Forehand's pretty solid.
yeah, and which back end is it? Is it more of like an attacking one, or more of a defensive, or more of a rallying, or more of a change up, or?
I would say more like not really like if someone hits one really hard at me, I almost feel more confident than someone just hits a rally ball.
So if someone hits like a faster ball, you feel like you can counter it well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's more like when I have to make my own pace, I guess.
Okay, cool. And with that one, is it more sort of when you feel like you're further back in the court or more inside the court?
Kind of neutral.
Kind of neutral, like in between, neutral rally position? Typically cross court, right?
Yeah.
Because I think this way that I've noticed that you play is you like to basically get to the backhand, and if you could hit an effective rally ball, what you would end up doing is then moving around it and using your forehand, because that seems to be the shot you like, right?
Yeah.
And typically when you get that inside out forehand, what do you like to do with it?
Back, like inside out.
Back, you like to keep it inside out and just dictate play to their backhand?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. And then one of the things you said that when you started competing a lot more, the area you started finding a lot more success is that you feel like you're getting a lot more confident moving forward and coming to the net.
Yeah.
So is it sort of one of those things where you're looking to hit a quality backhand, set up a inside out forehand, and then look to move in?
Yeah, more or less. I guess maybe one more after the inside out. But.
Okay, so keep the backhand exchange going, and then when you get the opportunity, move around, hit your inside out forehand.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So what do you think at your level to be a top 20 player in BC you need to be doing with their backhand to make it an effective ball?
Like in terms of what?
In terms of the ball. So what do you think? Like,
I guess rising.
okay, rising.
And crossing. Well, pulling them out quite wide.
What's quite wide? Just think about a court and you tell me
Like
whereabouts.
they should be at least hitting at the single sideline.
Cool. So there should be at least the single sideline. And you were saying rising, like rising over the baseline?
Yeah, like
Cool. And what do you think about? Yeah, that's good. That's good. So basically, you're getting them outside the line, and you're rising, keeping them back behind the baseline. Cool. So I was looking at that. So basically, I was turning a couple things, and so I was looking at when you had opportunities to hit that. So you got a ball out wide, right? It was backhand, and basically the opportunity to hit that. And then when you hit it in, so whether or not the ball went in the court or whether or not the ball was, hit it out or hit in the net. And then if it did go in, was it effective, right? And then just completely unrelated, did you end up winning the point? And so what was interesting is that you had about 27 opportunities. And
backhands.
pardon?
Just backhand.
Backhand rallies, yeah. And so I was just looking at the first sort of set of this match, and it was just opportunities where it was like, okay, there's it is. Sometimes one of the things I kind of noticed is that, and maybe you can speak to this about just where you feel the confidence of it is you seem to kind of try and make it like a forehand. So is that something you feel like when you get a backhand rally ball, especially a ball like you said that comes a little bit slower, that you'd almost rather move around it and try and hit a forehand because you're not as confident with it with your backhand?
Yeah, I guess so, but I also want to have that kind of option.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Okay. And so, yeah, you had like 27 opportunities for that. And you basically got 22 of them in, which is pretty good. But effective, which, what was good, I was kind of in the same boat, which was I was looking to see if you were pulling Salal out to the double sideline and like really effectively pushing him back, like really neutralizing him. You only really got about 5. So 5 out of 22, not so good. But that being said, you won about 10 of the points. So even though they weren't always effective, you were still winning some of the points, which was good. Sometimes it was just, he made a mistake on his back end as well, or he would try and do something and kind of give away the point to you. But do you feel like if you made that back end more effective, you think you could win more points?
Yeah.
And like you said, going in with kind of your game style, do you feel like you hit a more effective backhand, you can start setting up your forehand more? And push them back more, right? And it needs to bring them out more to the side.
I guess more solid and a bit more speed and spin.
Yeah, exactly. Good. So one of the things that we've been working on, right, is been really prioritizing your timing.
Yeah.
And now your timing's getting a lot more solid. So now that you've got sort of a slower ball, right, and you feel like, okay, I've got to create some pace off that, the one thing that's going to be big for you is to feel like you're using bigger segments, right? So the bigger segments for you are going to be your legs and really feel like you're driving through the ball. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. So when you can start using those bigger segments, you'll probably end up hitting the ball a lot harder, but it's just going to mean that all that hard work that you've been putting in with Kyle, your strength and conditioning coach, it's not just going to be about moving to get out there with the legs, but it's also going to be solid and feel like you can really use the ground and really hit through the ball. Cool. So what we're going to do is making sure that the next kind of step for your backhands is making sure that for that rally ball that's kind of going through the court more, I feel like you're able to get the direction, but to really get it through the court and hit that high quality, the priority for the next little bit is going to be really using the legs to help you hit through the ball and really push your opponents back.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.